We want to start off with a reminder that we are not doctors. Before you make any changes or try something new, always consult with your doctor and medical team first. Chronic illness can vary from patient to patient, so it's always best to consult with your own doctor for what is best for you.
Hello and welcome back to IBD Determined. I'm your host, Mason Harvey, and I speak from the role of a patient, and I have Crohn's disease.
And I'm your other co-host, Michelle Harvey. I am Mason's mom, and I speak in the role of a caregiver. And today's podcast is kind of about facing fears. So we're going to introduce you to a guest.
A new guest. They're not going to talk much. They're going to leave after the first interview. But
so we have a tiny new addition to the family and to our podcast today. And so our first guest
is his name. Well, we call him Felix. And if you're arachnophobe, sorry, but it's
you can see him. He's right back here.
Yep, it's a little jumping spider right there.
Yeah.
So he might be a little bit hard to see.
Yeah. We don't want to put him under the lights. We have some lights up here, so we want to.
Yeah, like that. There we go.
Scare him.
But anyways, it is a regal jumping spider, and he's a male. Yeah. And jumping spiders are actually one of the smartest arachnids. They're not entirely the smartest, but they're one of the smartest. And they have, I forget the exact term, but each cell in their brain can multitask. It's not assigned to one particular thing. They can do multiple things, each cell. And that's how they're so smart with a small brain. And so we have Felix, and they are one of the spiders that you can actually earn trust with and make friendships and bonds. And so we have Felix here, and we call it Felix. Maybe you know if you know the cartoon, Felix the Cat. It's an old school cartoon. But jumping spiders are associated with tiny cats.
They're fuzzy and jumpy.
And so we just call it Felix. So that is our first little friend we got here today. So if you have arachnophobia and you're able to look at the screen right now, good job. We're proud of you.
Yeah.
He says hi.
He's really cute. If you Google them so you can see what their faces look like up close.
Bold jumping spider.
A regal.
My bad. There's a bold one, which is native to California, and there's the regal, which is native to the East Coast.
East Coast, I believe. Is where,
yeah. And they have little differences. The males look almost the same, but the regals have, instead of white tip pedipalps, they have black tip pedipalps. Well, look that up, because those terms are probably confusing for you.
Right.
I'm going to put him back, though, so we don't get too stressed out.
Okay. So Felix is put back and in his other room. And if you guys have any questions about jumping spiders, Mason is our expert.
I can basically answer everything. Not everything. I'm not exactly an expert. Don't hold me accountable for everything I say.
Right.
But I know
he's our expert in the house. Maybe not everything, but in our house, he is our resident insect, bug, arachnid, all things expert. So yeah, he's been wanting one of those for a while, and we finally got one. So yeah, so he's pretty cool. So starting off facing your fears. So if some of you have some spider fears, some of you may just love jumping spiders.
Legs.
Yeah, maybe that didn't bother you at all. But I think it's worth mentioning that when we started this podcast, Mason was 14 and you are 16 now.
Yeah.
And it's, I think your fears at the time would be different maybe than they are now, because
Absolutely.
And I think each year from the point you're diagnosed, I think the fears will change.
Yes.
I think that they start off much larger because you just don't know anything. You don't know what to be afraid of. I mean, in the beginning, so you're afraid of everything. And then you slowly learn
afraid of everything.
Right. And so we're not experts in this. This is just going to be from how we handle things, and we've helped Mason. So please don't take this as advice that you have to follow. You should follow. That is something you should discuss with your GI, your personal, your doctor, and or therapy. If you're a therapy, talk about different ways of handling fears. But I think this is just, might be nice to hear just a regular, like a patient and a mom, talk about how we've made it to this point. We're almost to 6 years after his diagnosis.
That's impressive.
How you handle things and make decisions.
It's crazy because like 6 years is, a snap in the timeline of history.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but 6 years,
It's a long time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So we're almost there. We're not
almost.
Yeah. So what I think we'd like to do is kind of discuss how, one of the things is this disease creates a lot of fear. Like we said, the beginning is kind of the fear of the unknown. And then as you get further into the disease, it's the fears of knowing more and understanding it and maybe being afraid of, your lab results changing, of becoming symptomatic. There's a lot of things that can trigger things and be scary. There's always a lot to learn with this disease.
I think a good example of that would be I was afraid of, when I was diagnosed, I was afraid of how long would I need to be treated.
Yeah, that was like your biggest, I think that was your biggest fear.
I'm like, oh, I hope it's not a year. And so then I asked the doctor, well, how long am I going to be treated for? And he said, well, you have to take it for the rest of your life. And there's a new fear unlocked, but I've gotten over that.
There's some parents that I'll see post about the fear of those the infusions or the injections, and he had a huge fear. Believe me when I say that, it's not like I'm just being dramatic.
No, the first infusion I ever had out of the hospital, technically it's still in the hospital.
Right, but
admitted.
We're not admitted anymore. Yeah.
They had to bring over 3 nurses to hold me down because they thought I was
probably going to take off and hit somebody,
which I was not going to do that. I just
you were just scared. And
air raid siren.
And then also there's a lot of decisions as parents. I mean, and if you're an adult with this disease, you're going to have similar thoughts we have, because we're responsible for making decisions for Mason that would affect his life, his health. It was kind of scary making all these decisions and not knowing anything about what we were like. Sure, you want to put him on Remicade? I'd never heard of it. And a quick Google search would scare me really badly. And so there's different coping mechanisms, different ways that we handle these things. One of the big ones is choosing the right doctor.
Definitely.
I think for you, right? That's
because there's a lot of good doctors at Rady's. They're all good.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot we like.
Different styles of doctor that will make you feel more comfortable.
Right.
Like other doctors, they're all comforting, they're all caring about you.
Mm-hmm.
But Dr. Bauman, which is my doctor, got on her knees because I started crying when she told me that.
So Mason was seated in the hospital, one of the beds. So she got down on his level. Yeah. Like literally, and
because it was when I asked her, well, how long will I have to be on these biologics? And she's like, well, for the rest of your life. And so I started crying, and so she got level with me, and she was talking, so she really was trying to comfort and, care.
Right. While also being assertive and saying like, this, unfortunately, this is the way it is. But she did it in a manner where she also comforted him and helped him understand, because I think the more you understand, you can make better decisions. That's a huge part of it. And so choosing a person, like choosing the right doctor that is number one qualified. So Dr. Bauman's an IBD specialist.
Yes, and you're in good hands.
Right. And not all gastroenterologists or GIs are IBD specialists. So that's number one. She was that specialist that we really needed. But really beyond that is choosing someone you can trust, you can talk to, who listens to you and makes you feel heard and seen as a patient.
And will fight for you too with insurance.
Is aggressive.
Yes.
Aggressive. Yeah, and you would never guess, because Dr. Bauman, she is so sweet, she's so funny, she's full of energy. And you would not guess that she is a fighter. Like she is not, like if she feels something is not in Mason's best interest, she's not going to be like, well, this is going to take time away from my life, my schedule. It's going to cause me a headache. I'm going to have to do all this. She doesn't look at it like that. She looks at it as what is best for Mason. I'm going to do it. And
I picture when insurance is like, we're going to take him off of this because it's costing us money. I just picture her going, this is Crohn's disease.
Yeah, she's going all crazy over there. Yeah.
Sparta, she fights, and we're very thankful for that. Good trait.
I think that makes a big difference in our journey and helping with fear and, making these
Having
decisions.
comfort knowing someone else is there to help protect.
Mm-hmm. And because, basically what this is about is Mason and I are having a conversation. This is kind of where this podcast came about, is making decisions based on fact, not out of fear.
Mhm.
And I think in this disease, fear can propel you to make decisions that may not be in your best interest. And so that's why it's very important to figure out what your fear is. Have a doctor that'll listen to what that fear is and help talk you through it.
Yeah.
Instead, you can make a good decision that maybe is a little scary,
It's
but
gonna help.
it will help. It's important to educate yourself. You can do this by, number one, talking to your doctor.
Mhm.
Ask them questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. But a really good thing is being educated helps you ask better questions too.
Yes.
So
educate yourself.
Yes, you need to know kind of what to ask, because sometimes I think it's like we'd say, well, ask your doctor. And you're like,
I don't know much about
I don't know
Crohn's
what
disease.
to
Can you
ask
tell
my
me, Doc?
doctor. Right. Where do we start? So, number one, listening to our podcast. If you're doing that, you're already doing one of the
Being
things.
educated.
You're starting to educate yourself in a different manner. Do a lot of reading. You can join groups online, but with caution, because you have to remember there are multiple personalities
Yes.
in these online groups with multiple experiences.
Now,
So
there's a good website where you can learn about it. It's called the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
yes,
Don't use Wikipedia. No. Well,
right. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is an
Yes,
excellent
it is.
resource. We highly recommend it. We use it a lot in our podcast, and they are
Very
very
good
reliable. They very invested in the future health of IBD patients.
So if there's something you want to learn about,
Mhm.
just go to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation site, and you could probably find what you're looking
Yeah.
for.
And another thing, and it's on the website too, on Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, but you can also look at different treatment options. Study up on those, even if it's not something you're taking, because your treatments can change. And so it's good to know, maybe if a doctor approaches you and they say this isn't the same class of a drug, so you're like, what? Biologics? Like, it can be very confusing.
It
So
is.
study those treatment options beforehand. Right now,
Just get yourself versed.
Mm-hmm. And right now, I'm reading a book on the immune system, which I'm going to do a
Yeah, good book.
podcast about because it's so good. And that's another way that I have really learned, like, wow, okay, people wonder why there's not a cure yet. Study the immune system, and you're going to understand where these challenges and why treatments are so important to helping understand potentially reaching that cure.
It's amazing.
So,
The best scenario would be to like have a way to retrain not a cell, but what teaches the cells to
Mhm.
retrain that into teaching the cells the right thing to attack.
right.
Obviously, that's kind of I wouldn't say impossible because things have been achieved that I thought
Right.
was impossible, but it seems near impossible, almost very
Or
hard.
maybe
to do.
the centers that are training some
Mhm.
of these immune cells might need, maybe they're not being trained correctly from that's a really cool discussion. We'll
It
be
is.
doing that. And so kind of like where this also came from, where we're at right now, I think Mason's always comfortable sharing with this disease. So two different situations we're in right now where we can be facing fear. And the number one is they want to insurance and the pharmacy want to take Mason off and what is working for him and put him onto a biosimilar. We have
Yay.
done whole podcasts on biosimilars. Some of you out there think it's generic. It is not. This is where you need to educate yourself. And it's not to say to be afraid of biosimilars,
No.
but you do need to understand they are not the same.
Yeah, it's obviously this is very far gone. This is not at all like close. But a way to think of it is like, can I drink some water? Oh, we don't have water. Have some apple juice. It's both a liquid, It will both help you
Hydrate.
help hydrate you, But it's not the same thing.
I mean, we know that's a little different.
Yeah, it's
but,
very different.
But it is still similar because there's the same, like an active
Mhm.
ingredient, but with a biologic, they are live cells.
And so you can't replicate
Cannot replicate
exactly.
that.
And notice it's called biosimilar.
Right.
Not bioexact.
And biosimilars, like I could go on and on, but they are not always tested on Crohn's disease. They are tested on things like psoriasis. And if they have the same active ingredient as Stelara, they'll give a permission to treat Crohn's when they never even did this in
Test it.
clinical trials.
So it's very
So it is just important to understand not to be afraid of them. Again, this is what we're talking about, getting over fears. The more you know and educate yourself on these things, you can make better decisions. Now, his doctor does not want him on a biosimilar because she does not want to rock the boat.
yeah. Say don't fix something. Don't fix something if it's not broken. You
Right.
know.
And that's kind of where you feel like, this is not a decision by the insurance company being made to better Mason's health. It's to better their pockets, because it's a money thing. So his doctor, if it has to happen and we go to a biosimilar, then we take that risk. But we're going to fight the risk. And just and sometimes some people do better on biosimilars than they did on the original.
Yeah.
So
It's just,
some people don't.
Yeah, it's
So
just if something is working.
You-
Why
Right.
mess with it? Also, because biologics, your body can build up immunities to them if you don't take them for a certain amount of time.
Mhm.
And so the scary thing is, say the biosimilar doesn't work. Insurance is like, oh, cool, it doesn't work. Now you can go back to the other one. At least we tried.
Right.
You
Or
saved
they'll
some
put you
money.
to another
Yeah, or they'll put
biosimilar.
you onto another one. But the thing is, if you go back to the one that was already working for you,
Sometimes you can't.
you could build up antibodies by then, and it won't work for you because antibodies you built up an immunity. All because insurance wanted to put you on something else to give it a try,
Right.
Some people can take biologics for their entire lives.
Right.
Some people have to switch every 10 years.
Some become less effective.
Some become less effective. You should use what works for you while you have the opportunity to.
Right. You don't need to start switching all around.
Because remember, there's not infinite types of a certain type of biologic. Remember, Remicade won't work for me, so only a Stelara type, say, will. And so there's only limited amounts of those. So I can't switch to another one and think, oh, this will work. No, there's only a few that will possibly work.
In this example, there is the fear that Mason could be switched. What we've done to help alleviate this is learn how to fight this. So
Yes.
we will fight it. We have learned about the biosimilars, and there is a certain amount of, okay, at a certain point, if it has to happen,
It has to happen.
it has to happen. We don't have options. We don't have money to buy Stelara outright every 4 weeks. We just don't have that. You can either just be super upset and be too scared to fight, or you put up a fight and you do what you can, and then you just have to accept the outcome and with the guidance of your doctor. So that's kind of one thing. And the other thing that I think is actually a little higher on the fear levels is Mason's calprotectin tests. And so really calprotectin deserves a whole episode in itself on what that is, and we should be doing that. He did, they do his calprotectin to kind of monitor, and it was a little higher back in, I think it was like September. So they reran one again. We did one in, I believe it was December. We did it, and it came back twice as high. And it's very strange because Mason is doing phenomenal. There is 0 symptoms right now, which is
very weird.
The goal, like all of you want, is to be able to be, normal.
That's the main goal,
So he's like, I'm feeling great. And so
why is it?
we're thinking, was this a false elevation? Was there something? Mason was sick around Thanksgiving and the holidays, and maybe that was something. So we talked to the doctor, and she wants to have a meeting. We have not had that yet. She wants to sit down and discuss this. So it is something she is taking seriously. Then she did mention it's worth repeating. And this time she did a full panel, a pathogens panel with parasites, looked at if he had C. diff, looked at all the different colis, 21 different labs.
Yeah.
Nothing was detected. So that's good. I mean, which was expected because Mason's feeling great. There's no symptoms. But the calprotectin, the second time, came back even higher.
It's just worrying.
We start going, okay, so there is a trend. And this is when you start to go, okay, Mason has had much higher calprotectins than the ones we're talking right now, the levels.
It's just worrying that there is
but it's concerning, right, that there's rise here.
It's concerning that all the panels were okay.
We're not entirely sure what she's going to talk to us about. She may want to do scopes. to look and see if everything looks good. And she may want to just confirm that. She may want to switch up, like Mason was mentioning, biologics. So we're not sure until we meet with her. Instead of just, we want to make sure we make a decision when we do meet with her. We're not making a decision out of fear. And so we're trying to educate ourselves
Logically
now.
thinking.
Right. And logically saying, okay, the facts are the facts. Does anybody like getting scopes? No. But
do people have to?
Right. Yes. And looking at the purpose of what it is. So our fear with scopes for Mason is he typically flares when he has one. So his doctor avoids them with him because he will flare. So it's like you're like risking like
you're rocking the boat.
It's like
more.
We have to look at a few things.
You're pushing a boat that's already capsizing.
Right. And when he's feeling great.
Not to mention college just started.
Right.
And so if we did do a scope, which will take an entire day or two.
Yeah.
Then if I go into a flare, now that's another problem.
Right.
But
so we're going to talk to her and she may not want to do that. I wish we had, our hospital doesn't have the ultrasounds yet. Yeah. And that would be another effective way.
We can wait until we get the ultrasound. Buy one.
The bigger fear, I think, is to ask ourselves is what if he flares? What if this is a sign that something is because looking it up, you can have inflammation in the mucosal layers and that would be your white blood cells. So you have neutrophils that are essentially white blood cells that they create this calprotectin as a result of inflammation. And so it is showing up, which means there's something
sort of inflammation
there,
it's increasing.
And it's increasing, not alarmingly so, but it is doubling, and if it continues to that trend, that would not be great.
No.
So what doctors are looking at is sometimes when this calprotectin starts to elevate, typically within a certain amount of months, you will fall into a flare. So the goal is to catch it before you go into that flare. So I can respect that. Mm-hmm. We can be angry that, it's okay.
You can be angry that the cells in your body are being annoying.
Yeah, it's choosing to do this. Of course. You can have your moments of being frustrated and being angry, but then you have to get out of that. You're angry or you're just scared. You have to get out of, okay, like Mason said, facts. Mm-hmm. What are the facts? What are we doing to keep me healthy?
I mean, if we think about it, facts over feelings. When I was diagnosed, they said, well, we should probably put you on Remicade. Yeah. If I was doing it for feelings, I'd be like, nah.
You would have said no.
But for a fact,
right.
It help you and make you feel better in the future. All right.
And so actually, Mason, that's a perfect segue here because that's what we're leading into is our example for today's podcast is one as a fear of biologics. And there's many different fears. We could chosen fear of scopes. You can still approach it in the same way. Yeah. Needles, being afraid of those. So you can still approach it the same way. Because I see this question where a lot of people are scared to take a biologic. And I understand because I was very scared to make that decision for Mason. I didn't understand how they were like, well, it might work, it might not. And I'm thinking,
people are mostly afraid of the poke itself. And the side effects,
right?
Which we'll talk about.
I guess one of the questions you ask yourself, is the fear real? For a fear of biologics, yes, it is a real fear. What if someone said, "Well, I'm not going to take the biologics because I'm just afraid of what it could do." So here's kind of how we worked through it, even with the Remicade, even with the switches when you went to dual biologics. That was another fear with them because you already have the fear of, okay, we're on one, now he's on two. So one of the good things to do with the fear, in this case, we're using biologics. What are the negative side effects to biologics? This is a great question for your doctor.
Ask your doctor.
Right?
Now, I don't recommend watching the commercials for them. Yeah, you can.
And what our doctors told us, I have not personally Googled this, but so I want to disclose that. But what our doctor has told us is that even if one person in the trials has a side effect, it has to be mentioned. Yeah. So you're looking at when they mention the side effects, it might be, you don't know how many people that was. Was it 1? Was it 100? Was it? But I think if those were too high, this wouldn't pass regulations. But again, that's just so. And these are questions you can go over with your doctor. So after thinking to yourself, because everybody automatically goes to the negative side effects, what are the positive side effects to biologics? So that's where you also have to ask yourself, which is another great question for your doctor. And there's a lot of reviews online. You can search these to see the experiences, to see how it's helped people. Mason is proof. We Remicade did not work for him. And there really wasn't any positive side effects to that.
No.
There wasn't really any negative that we know. You were in such a flare at the time. It was hard to tell.
Yeah.
Now what you're going to do, okay, now you've addressed the fear, right? You've asked these questions. What are the negative side effects? What are the positive side effects if I face this fear, if I do take biologics? Then to say, ask yourself about the same questions about the disease. Because it is a progressive disease.
It gets worse over time.
Yes.
It's like a freight train, it's not going to stop itself.
Right.
It's going to keep going.
That's a good analogy to it, because yes, it is. And so if you think that, well, I'm feeling okay now, they want to put me on biologics, or you have to understand that, and maybe you want to find a different treatment or solution or diet or something, that's something to discuss with your doctor, 100%. Okay. But in the case of just specifying, if you want to take a biologic or not, you would, ask yourself, what are the negative side effects to uncontrolled IBD? And which,
think about it, it gets pretty scary,
Right.
Because your life is going to be a lot worse.
It can be life-threatening. And so having, if you're worried about the negative side effects,
let's scare them into it. Let's see. Let's remember, IBD can affect your eyes. People can go blind. It affects your teeth. Your mouth, your bones, your skin, basically everything from here to down there, it can affect everything. And it's a scary thought thinking that you could be one of those people where their eyes get affected, their bones get affected, like me, osteoporosis, CP. And so there's a lot of scary side effects of the biologic, but there's a lot more threatening and scary effects that are more destined to happen with the disease itself. There's a higher chance.
And I think, I would say, one of the negative side effects to biologics is they do suppress the immune system, the ones Mason is on. But you can work around that.
Wearing masks.
There's ways you can help yourself.
Hands.
But with IBD, and I think you are susceptible actually to, some people are more prone to catching things with uncontrolled IBD. It's not going to get better, and it's just going to get worse. And some of the negative side effects, we could go on and on. There's negative side effects that are potential with the biologics that may never happen. Most of the negative side effects with IBD are going to happen. It's like a matter of time.
It's going to get worse, and it's
right. And we've seen, if you're watching this and you've never been in, it's not to scare you either. But if you've never been in a very active flare or dangerous flare, you'll see, how appreciative you are once you are in remission. And, and there's different ways. This is not a biologics broadcast anyways today. This is really just about facing a fear. And we chose biologics. I know some of you listening might be on a different plan. That's fine too. Yes. We're just trying to help with these tools. So the next question you ask yourself is, what are the positive side effects to uncontrolled IBD? And I'm sure there's someone out there who's going, oh, I don't have to be on biologics. That's a positive side effect.
That's one.
But really, what are there's
let's see,
an
health,
uncontrolled disease that's progressively destroying your body? Not any positive side effects, guys. If you can think of one, I would love to understand it.
Choose your poison situation. Which do you find worse? Something with destined side effects and no good positive side effects,
or something that
has
going to help your body
effects, but has a lot of positive effects.
These are the kind of things to help yourself. And, you can put these questions with, you could change it. What are the negative side effects to getting an infusion? What are the positive side effects? And how does these are tools that you can kind of work through to help yourself rationalize and talk yourself into a better headspace. Because I think sometimes you're overwhelmed and the immediate reaction is to just be like, no, I want to go to a safe place. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want this. Fortunately, the facts are your body has made a decision
to attack itself. Yay.
And there's tools out there that are meant to help you, not hurt you. And I get that a lot of people are frustrated because they feel like pharma is making so much money off this. But I also encourage you to study pharma and study biologic companies, bioscience companies, and see why the amount of money is there. And it's not exactly like the government is researching Crohn's disease and providing solutions. So there's a lot of perceptions And there's a lot of reasons people are afraid of biologics or mad about biologics. And insurance is no help because
No.
insurance is probably also going to be like, yeah, you don't need it.
Nah, you're good. Trust me, you're
Yeah,
healthier without
gonna
it.
deny it. And so you're going to be like, I have to now fight for this and spend like my work days
I
taking
have
off
to
work to
fight
fight.
insurance to get poked.
Right. And so then you probably start to go, well, if insurance is saying this is not a great idea. So that's why it's important.
It's scary that insurance can override a doctor's orders when
It is.
doctors are worried about your health and insurance is worried about the moolah, the bank.
And especially when your doctor is saying this is going to hurt my patient. And insurance is like, oh,
No.
we still don't,
Wow.
yeah, we still are okay with this decision because, and so, I mean, and there's an understanding, again, Mason's taking an argumentation course. So we can look at, insurance.
And
Yeah,
be like,
it's
oh, yes, they
expensive.
are paying quite a lot. They're paying a car for just one of these biologics. And keep in mind, multiple people are getting these biologics, not
Right.
just me.
So it makes sense.
Obviously, they are gonna have to fight. But when it comes to somebody's health,
You
you
shouldn't.
shouldn't be able to
If a
override
doctor
a
says
doctor.
they need this specific treatment, that is
Mhm.
what they get. That's how it should
I
be.
feel like specialization. Who is specialized in what? If we're talking about somebody's health,
Mhm.
we should go with the doctor because they're specialized in your health.
Right.
Now, if we're talking about
You're not
should I
gonna-
buy this or
Right.
should I spend my money on this? Does the doctor care about the money you have? No. Does insurance? Yes. So insurance is probably gonna help you with your money. Now, when it comes to your health, listen to the doctor. It should be more like that where it specializes in who has more power, not always
Right.
this has power just because.
And unfortunately, the person who has the money usually holds the power.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ways you can handle fear, but this is kind of how we always do things. We really try to sit down and say, okay, I'm mad, I'm upset, I am afraid. That's not going to help me in making decisions if it's just like I'm freaked out and the doctor's going to suggest this and I don't no I don't want him doing that. I'm going to say no. But
over hyper mind, you're not going to think straight.
Right. But it's like sometimes when you realize like I'm so thankful that the doctor convinced us to do dual biologics.
Yeah.
And at the time I remember really kind of wanting to argue about it with her because I was like, there's not enough studies showing that this is safe for my child. And then it's like you start to have to realize, well, look at what he is feeling like. Look at what is happening to his body. And it is more important to get that under control. And so it's a way of looking at things and asking yourself these important questions like we just said. You ask yourself, about those positive side effects, those negative side effects, and just continue to educate yourself and make sure you have a doctor that communicates with you. And you're always welcome to reach out to us too if we can
remember
guide you.
Scientists, we're not doctors.
No.
You should still contact your doctor.
Yes, but if you feel like you just need to talk to somebody because you're frustrated, maybe your therapist, but you're always welcome to reach out to us if we can guide you in any direction, to help you out. We're more than happy to help guide you. Like Mason was saying earlier, IBD doesn't have feelings.
No, it
Facts
doesn't care.
Don't have feelings.
No.
These things don't care. And so that doesn't mean you can't have those feelings, but it also means you need to just
stand up.
And
now I will give you, if you are afraid of the shot itself, the injection itself, not the side effects, more the pain that comes with getting
that's
poked
another
itself. What I recommend, and it's not, I'm gonna have a harder time recommending what you do for injections because I'm so used to them now. I don't mind them. Now infusions, what I recommend you do, because I still get worried about them, and I do this every time I'm there. I think once it's in, I think to myself, in 4 hours, at the end of the day, I'll be back home. I'll be eating dinner at home. I'll be sleeping in my bed. I'll be comfortable. I'll be back at home. And just after 4 hours or just after 3 hours or however long it is, just focus on thinking what's happening after it. Because if you keep dwelling on the pain or whatever's going on right now, it's just going to make it worse. When you focus on something, it makes it worse.
Right. So focus on reward yourself.
In blank amount of time, I'm going to be listening to my favorite music. I'm going to be watching my favorite movie. I'm going to be at home. I'm going to be eating my favorite meal. Whatever makes you happy, just think of that after. Just think of the future. What are you looking forward to when you get back?
Kind of part of the education process, listening to people with experience, listening to someone like Mason who was 11 years old and facing a lot of fears that he had and how he's worked through them. And you will get to the other side, but this disease is always going to present some kind of a fear. But I think that's normal with life. I mean, it's not just with you don't have to have IBD to have fears and to have things come up in life that are difficult. So it is all in how you approach it. And yeah, we're all going to be afraid, but it's important to take yourself into a place of educated awareness. So you're making those decisions based on that and that logic, then on fear. And then beyond that, it's going to be, working through some of the fear, like Mason said.
It's easier said than done. Feelings are very strong.
Yeah.
And even if you tell yourself, I can be brave, I can do it, you'll find yourself second guessing that decision that you can be brave because the fear is so strong of whatever you're afraid of. I think, next week I'm on infusion. I'm just going to get it done and I'm not going to worry about it. 2 days before, I'm worrying about it. I'm like, but I still, even though I'm worried about it, I can worry about it. I just think I can do this and we're going to get it done. You can be afraid and that's okay. It's okay to express human emotion. We're all human. You just have to know and believe in yourself that you're going to get through it.
Yeah.
Because you are eventually.
And we did something this week too. Like I talked to Mason because the day we found out about the calprotectin, and because it was kind of like he was frustrated. I was frustrated. It was kind of like a gray day out, and it just felt very, very overwhelming. And at the same time, we were paying all these bills that we're getting from the hospital at the same time. And so it was like you feel like this, and then you hear from your insurance company says, "Hey, you're gonna have to fight for this now." This was all within the same 24 hours.
Yeah. So we got bills for
a couple different things, and then
calprotectin was bad.
Yeah,
insurance says, hey, you have to fight for this biologic,
right? So it's kind of like, so what I did is I was like,
Paul started too.
It was also it was like the first day of college, so that was
pretty fun.
That was a lot for him, and so I was like, what would make you feel better?
Just one of those days.
What about looking at people's dogs, their pets, their, if they're bugs, if they're reptiles, if they're, birds, whatever they might be. And so I put a message out on Facebook just asking friends like, hey, we're having a bad day. Can you just post? And instead of creating a post where it's like, hey, we're having a bad day, and having people respond back where they are frustrated for you, but maybe it continues those feelings. It's like, I don't want to continue these feelings. Let's just end it here.
Positivity.
Yeah. And so everyone started posting pictures.
One thing people love to share their pets.
There are babies. Yeah. And so
someone had a turtle and there was another turtle on top of that turtle. It was really funny.
There was so many
cute
pictures.
And birds, cute cats, cute dogs.
So he got to keep scrolling through.
No jumping spiders.
No, but that's okay.
That's ours.
Yeah, I think there's some more even posted last night.
We're gonna
that they're still posting, and so
it was very fun.
Yeah,
it's
kind of a fun exercise too, is to kind of vent so people know, hey, this is where my headspace is right now. To focus on. Hey, positive. Post pictures of your most recent vacations, post pictures of, your favorite project.
Post a picture of a cool rock in your backyard.
Yeah.
Geologist.
It could be anything. It's just something.
Architecture. Show me pictures of cool architectural things too.
It also makes it feel like support. And so not only is it the picture that's distracting and like, this is cool, it's also a way of seeing, hey, my friend cared. And they took the time,
right?
And so it's a cool feeling. So it's like a way to show support and a way to enjoy their pets and their lives and see what's going on and see the things going on in their lives too. So that's another thing to do. So anyways, that's going to be it for today's episode. I think it's something important to talk about. Yeah. And you're going through some stuff right now. So I think it's perfect timing to remind ourselves too.
Yeah.
And and so you guys can follow us on Instagram if you'd like at Team IB Determined. And you are
cute spider pictures.
Yes, I know. I actually need to post some. I don't think I've updated. I haven't made the announcement yet on social media. So it's not real yet.
And Goldie, there's another one you haven't seen, but that one's way too
tiny. I know. Goldie is so tiny you wouldn't be able to see it. So Goldie's our other jumping spider, but
wild to California.
Super tiny. It's a native. Yeah. And so we do have another jumping spider. But so anyways, you can also the Reggie Project. give that we're gonna, and we're working on our Karmatude clip still. That's still there, but we have our other big project we're still working on.
Yeah.
So got a lot of things going on, guys. We are working behind the scenes always. This is so important to us. So and I also try to let Mason focus.
Yep. College.
Right.
Focus when you have all this.
Right. So we kind of, when the semester starts, it's kind of like everything kind of slows down a little bit because he is the priority. His health and his school are the.
Sometimes doesn't slow down apparently, but
No, it's made a decision like
just
right
speak
now.
up.
Timing is phenomenal.
Timing is phenomenal.
So-
Too smart.
Yeah. But so anyways, you can listen to us on any podcast station like iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and take a look at our link where you can find all the podcast options.
Oh,
And if you want to,
watch us actually.
Yeah.
Because if you're listening to podcasts, you can be very confused by
You're
the
like,
you're like,
what
where's
are
the
they
jumping
talking
spider?
about? I know.
If you want to see Felix,
And
you
he
should.
has these beautiful luminescent green.
They didn't get to see him, but I'm sure if you look up a picture,
Chalice
it's a
Ray.
regal jumping
right?
spider, and then put it male, you'll find the beautiful pictures of their cute little faces.
Yeah. Look him up.
Yeah, but if you want to see him in person as I was presenting him, you should go to YouTube.
Yep.
There's also YouTube podcasts, but if you're on YouTube,
yeah, you
I
won't.
kind of think you're there to watch videos.
Yeah. Hang out with us. You can
yeah.
watch us.
Just hang out. Oh, and also please comment if you found anything interesting in this episode. If you relate to any of these feelings of fear and facts. If you want to know ways how you can be more brave to get through stuff. Or if you had any pet bugs when you were growing up. Or if you had any pets.
Yeah, you can share that too in the
caught
comments.
a bug recently.
Tell us about it. We would love to hear some positive,
Yeah,
uplifting, just fun stuff. It could be anything. Whatever you want to share, we could use it too right now. We could always use that. So anyways, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're in season 5 now, which is crazy.
Crazy.
And so we're thankful for all of you guys that listen, and we hope we're helping and providing relevant and support to you guys. That was the whole idea with this. So if there's anything we've missed that you'd love to hear us talk about or revisit, something that we've already talked about that you'd like to hear, because at some point it's been a while since we've started this, and so we may revisit some of the earlier episodes because stuff may have changed. And with this, and so it might be interesting to think about it again and with, at a different time and see if we can help with that. So anyways, I guess we will see you guys back here.
Have a bug-tacular day. Have a arachnid-tacular day.
Thank you guys for being here to
thank
meet.
you for the support. Thank you for listening, and thank you for not falling asleep if you hear yet.
All right. Well, so we'll see you guys here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in the next 2 weeks, the next episode.
All right.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you will stick around, tune in, and reach out to us with your own journeys. We are excited to give you an inside view of what it takes to be a caregiver and what it's like to be a patient.
And most of all, we hope you'll maybe be able to apply something you hear on here that might help you in your own life. Sometimes life changes, and it's all about how you handle the journey.